G'day guys, welcome back to another video. It's going to be another sort of random one. I've got a little bit of team list news that we found out today. Got some general round 11 advice. I'm going to go through my buy planner, some more stuff that I've updated and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a really weird week to try and create content. I feel like it's such an important round, almost coming into round 12, which is like the major buy round, the first major buy round. But with trading and stuff, like with your buy, sells, holds videos, it's really team dependent, and like the list is so short. Like obviously everyone's trading in round 12 targets. Like the list of people who are trading out is a bit obvious this week as well, with so many injuries like Couchman, Nicholson, Marzu, Yo, who's not injured but obviously has the buy. So yeah, it's just a really weird round. Yeah, so I don't think the team list was super important today. So usually I'd go through every game, every team, and go from there. But there's not too many that stand out. We sort of knew what team lists were coming this week. There are a couple of interesting ones that I will talk about. These are just ones that are fantasy relevant. So yeah, talked about it yesterday. Leo Thompson's out with concussion this week. He'll be back next week. He was kind of popular last week. But yeah, just note that he'll be out this week. He's not a sell by any stretch if you did pick him up. Just a bit annoying for you. But yeah, he'll be back next week more than likely. Lomax returns. So yeah, that was expected. It came out midweek last week that he was going to try and make a return this week. They said they wouldn't push him if he wasn't ready, but when Lomax says it, it looks pretty obvious that he's coming back. I still don't think he's a lock for Origin. I think Kirez is a massive chance given his form as well. With Lomax only having 1 week to prove himself, I don't know if that's enough. And that combination on the right for the Bulldogs, like with Stephen Crichton as well, I think it's going to be too hard to turn down. And they might do. Like Lomax obviously played there last year, so he's got the pedigree. But yeah, I would be picking Kiraz for sure. And I think they've come out and said, Laurie Daly said he didn't want to pick up too many guys with injuries. I think that was him. I don't think that was Billy Slater. So yeah, like that's a massive concern. And if you're going to have Lomax and To'o, who are both coming back from injuries, I think it's a massive risk. So yeah, I think either one of those, Brian or Lomax, could miss out. It's probably going to have to be Lomax if Kiraz is coming in, because obviously Kiraz and Lomax both play on the right, Bizzer on the left. So yeah, I don't know. I just think Kiraz can't miss out given his form and the combination. So yeah, I wouldn't be picking up Kiraz this week. It's going to be super dependent if he makes it. I think he's a great pickup next week. But yeah, we just want to see. The Fish is back. Yeah, we knew that was coming. Just monitor Clark's minutes. I don't think too many are picking him up this week. I think it's about 1% are picking him up. Obviously, last week and the week before he was super popular. It's probably too late unless you think he's going to be the best hooker, which is a chance. It's going to be close. But yeah, just monitoring that because that was the big question mark when Clark was a popular option. So it'll be interesting to see. I think he's played too well to drop down below sort of 50, 55, but we'll see. I think baseline is going to be about 55 now, which is good. Jazz at hooker, which is a surprise. Simkin on the bench. Gerbo back to lock. Yeah, don't really understand that one. Jazz is a lot worse at hooker than he is at lock. We'll have a look at his stats. Yeah, it's a little bit concerning if you picked him up last week. Obviously, you're not doing anything. He was there for buy cover as well. But yeah, just one to monitor for sure. My computer is so slow right now. Hopefully this isn't too laggy. I can see it lagging a little bit. Just shaking my head to see. Yeah, hopefully it's all good. Otherwise, I'll have to film this again, which wouldn't be ideal. Yeah, at hooker, yeah, like this year, 25 in 43 minutes. Last year didn't play. Then 60 and 52, which is good. Then 30 and 40. But yeah, his stats at lock are a lot better. Yeah, 51 and 53, 48 and 53. Yeah, like the data is so much stronger playing at lock. So we'll have to monitor that. If you did pick him up, I didn't. So yeah, don't do anything with him. But just wait and see what that role is like. I think there's still a chance they switch it back. But I don't know why you'd make these 3 changes if you're not going to stick with it. So I'm expecting that's how they run out. Probably Jazz plays hooker for the first 20, 25, comes off, and then and probably plays in the middle in his second spell, so it shouldn't be too much different. But yeah, it's just a little bit concerning that he is starting at hooker. It probably means he's going to play a few more minutes there. But yeah, it is what it is. Jackson Purdue named at 6, which is interesting. Obviously, Zach Labert's back this week. But I'm surprised they got rid of Clifford. He was in decent form. Cowboys aren't going too badly. Obviously, they've switched off in a few halves, but they've made a few comebacks. So yeah, probably good for Purdue. Don't know what his kick meters will be. They're a bit all over the place in his data in Queensland Cup and stuff. But yeah, Dearden's not a massive kicking half. I think he's averaging like 90 metres this year, which is crazy. Clifford averaged about 300. So him dropping out of the team is really good for Drinkwater, I think. I talked about Drinkwater. He kicked about 270 metres not last week, the week before. And I thought that was a good chance to stick, which is why I picked him up. But yeah, like I think he dropped down to like 130 last week or so, but I think it's going to pick back up this week, or as long as they keep Purdue in the halves, which is good because, yeah, 290 metres has to go somewhere. Can't imagine Purdue picks up all of those metres. So, yeah, Drinky will pick up a couple of kicks extra, which is good. So, yeah, really good for Drinkwater, I think. Probably good for Purdue, more tackles, more kick meters, slightly less tries and stuff like that, but he'll still be involved in all the attack, probably a few more try assists. So, yeah, I think it's really good. If you did manage to hold him, wait and see how it goes, even with the bye next week. You still can trade him next week if you need to, and he doesn't light the world on fire this week. But, yeah, easy keep for this week. But I'm thinking this is a really weird time to make that move, like when Clifford's not in terrible form. Is Jackson Purdue a flyer for Origin? Like, is there any chance Billy Slater's told the Cowboys to put him at 6, given that's his natural position, to use as 14 for Queensland? Ben Hunt went out last week, and now Purdue's coming in to the halves, like, which is super random timing. Ben Hunt was obviously most likely going to be their utility, so Purdue, who can fill in the outside backs, fill in half, it's a chance. Like, I don't think it's likely, but it just sprung to my mind, and I think there's definitely a chance that is what happened. I'm in my conspiracy theory phase. If anyone watched the NBA draft today, it's fucking bullshit. I'm a Pelicans fan, so we got the 7th pick, which sucks, but yeah, Dallas getting the number 1 pick after trading Luka to the biggest franchise in the NBA, super sus. So yeah, maybe that's where that stemmed from, but even the Spurs getting the number 2 pick, yeah, so super sus going on in the NBA, so maybe that's where this conspiracy is coming from, but I think it's a chance. Probably less likely than Adam Silver rigging the league. Pierre Cora on the bench. I think he probably still starts. This is the same that happened last week. He was named on the bench, and then Willison came off the bench and Pierre Cora started. Probably still happens again, but he's probably in a void. He was always not a risky one. I think he's going to make a ton of cash, but it's just not the week to get him. He doesn't play round 12, doesn't play round 15, and you should be getting guns in this week that play in the major buy rounds. So probably in a void now, just because he's got a little bit of extra risk now, that other element. And yeah, I think he'll still do well, but probably not worth it now. Fawn on the bench for the Titans. Just monitor his role and see how it affects Jaden Campbell. Probably wouldn't be trading in Jaden Campbell this week unless you need to take a flyer and you're set for round 12, especially with that injury. He looked pretty good last week, but yeah, you just don't want to re-risk the injury when he doesn't play in round 12 anyway. So I think the bye will be good timing for him, and then round 13's perfect to bring him in as he plays round 15. So yeah, give him the week off. But yeah, I just want to see where Foran plays. He probably choose a few kick meters. He's not a massive kicking half in general, but Jaden Campbell and Brimson, their kicking game has struggled so much. Obviously, Campbell's kick meters are really solid for fantasy, but in real life they have added not a lot of value. So just interested to see where Foran plays. Yeah, I honestly don't know where. Maybe hooker a little bit, but it seems weird, especially with his injury history. So just want to see how he comes on. Brimson down the track might move out of the halves. I think obviously Jaden Campbell's their 7, but just want to see what the kick meters look like and stuff like that. So yeah, just want to monitor. And then we've got word Matty Nicholson's probably out for about 12 weeks, the Raiders are expecting. So obviously he was always going to be a sell. We kind of knew it was at least 4 weeks. But just it's a boost for Hosking. Hosking's starting now, as we knew he would be. But that role looks secure for about 3 months, which is good. Not good for Nicholson. Hope he's all good. Sasungi is on the bench, so I don't think Hosking plays 80, but they also have a 3-forward bench with Paddy on the bench, so who knows. Starling does play a little bit of mid, so it's like 3.5 forwards on the bench. But yeah, interesting. I think Hosking plays anywhere between 65 and 75, so even there he's still a massive buy, and I'll be bringing him in no matter what, and yeah, he could easily play 80 as well. So yeah, that's the only relevant stuff that I noticed in Team List Tuesday today. If you notice anything else, yeah, all good. Like obviously Harry Hayes and stuff are starting at prop at second row, but yeah, it's just not the week to get guys like that. So yeah, then I've just got some round 11 early tips since it's still Tuesday. You don't have to follow this advice. This is just what I'm sort of targeting this week. So yeah, number one, ideally the only trade target should be round 12 guns this week. No cheapies or middies apart from Hosking, who's like a fringe keeper, mid-ranger. Yeah, I just wouldn't be targeting anyone else. You'll be trading out your Couchmans, Yos, Marzus, Clearys, Nicholsons. You're going to have so much cash available. There's no need to get anyone else. Like, I would probably be avoiding my Saifidis, Jake Turbos, Piakoras, like stuff like that. King Tongias. There's just no need for them this week unless, obviously, that's the only thing you can do for cash, and that's the only way you can get numbers for round 12. But yeah, it's just not the week. I think it's the week to solidify your team. You don't want to just be covering for buy round cover by getting in random guys, especially when we can only play 13 in like the minor buy rounds in round 13, 16 and 19. So yeah, I think just be bringing in guns unless there's someone out there who's going to make 200k that you need the money for, like a Piacora, I guess. But yeah, he's like probably the only other one I'd be getting in, and he's still not worth it to me, even though he probably will make 150 to 200k. So yeah, just getting in your guns that play round 12 for sure this week. Second point, haven't really heard too many people talking about this. Just try to look to loop in round 12 and 13 if possible. Like I'll be aiming for 14 to 15 players. Everyone's just talking about getting 13 in, which is totally fine. Like it's a major buy round. You don't want to overcommit. But I think if you have the option to loop anyone or multiple players, it's going to work out in your favor really well, and your score is going to be a lot higher. Like it's not just about getting 13 players, it's about maximizing your scoring potential. So I'll go down here. This is my loop team in round 12. So you can still loop like normal, as far as I'm aware, unless I'm missing someone. So someone correct me in the comments if I am, because my memory's shit. I can't remember what happened last year. But yeah, you can still loop as normal even though you're only playing 13 players. So I don't have any hookers or mids that are going to be playing. So yeah, I'm just going to start my normal round 12 guys. That's good. That's Horsburgh at the moment. He'll be traded to Max King next week or someone similar. Then Edge, I've got Hosking and Egan. If they're bolded and in caps, that means they're not playing that round. So Dylan Egan's got the bye. I've got Kartonga in the centres, who is obviously also an Edge. So I can loop him, which I'll explain in a sec. In halves, got Hines playing, then Munster not playing. I've got Savala, which I can loop if I need to as well. So they're a bit more complicated, but I'll get into that. In centres, Lucas and Fermore's not playing. I've obviously got two centres there, so I can just loop traditionally if I want to there. And that would mean I just have to play someone up here, I don't know, but I've got a different method. And then winger fullback, Sharp, Garrick and Drinkwater's not playing, so that's the easiest loop. Iongi and Tamale. Iongi plays first. If he scores shit, just bring in Tamale to Drinkwater. If Iongi scores 50, just play him and leave it where it is. So yeah, that's pretty easy. 3 guys not playing that aren't in my starting team. So yeah, how would I loop Kartonga? So if he scores poorly, I just switch Savala and Munster. So Savala comes in here. Munster goes back down there. Obviously, these guys aren't playing. And then trade Munster for a KPP or Nikora, sorry. Yeah, that's only if like he scores really shit. Like if he gets a 20 or something, I can get a trade in. These guys are like fringe keepers, I guess. And I've got so many excess trades, so I could easily do that if I wanted to. Don't have to, but I can. And then if he scores well, I just don't do that at all, which is good. And then just play him and Robert Toyer. The more interesting one for me is how to loop Savala. So, yeah, ideally Savala scores well, but I want to trade Munster anyway. So if Savala gets a 20 and 25 or whatever, it actually works out better in my favour because pretty much everyone will be playing him, and I can just free up an easy trade Munster to Fogarty. Munster has the bye, Fogarty plays last, and Savala plays fourth, I think. So, yeah, I have plenty of time to make that trade, and Fogarty's a keeper, so more than happy to do that if I need to. And then I get Fogarty's score, and everyone's stuck with Savala's 25. So, yeah, obviously there's the guys you want to be looping, like the cashies or like mids, and pretty much every team has them. Like these will all be 80+% owned, really. Maybe not Tamale, but the rest are like 80+% owned. And yeah, if they score shit, everyone's stuck with them. But if you loop, you don't have to be. So it's actually going to work out so well in your favour if you are looping and they score shit. I think it's just something no one's really talking about that I'm really excited by, and I'm going to be rooting for them to score badly because it works in my favour. So yeah, just something to consider. Obviously, if you don't have many trades, don't do it. It's just like a luxury at this point, but I have 22 coming into this round, so that was always my plan to attack these rounds, and yeah, that's one way I can do it. In terms of the best Origin players to trade out, Yo number 1, easily. Cleary number 2, pretty comfortably. I was a bit on the fence about trading him for like most teams. Obviously, my team, again, with 22 trades coming into the round, I was always going to do it. But I think even if you have less trades, it's probably worth it. They're missing round 11, round 12, round 15, round 18, and round 16 because Ivan Cleary said they're not going to be backing up against the Warriors in round 16. So that's 5 of the next 8 weeks they're going to miss. And it's just so much cash sitting there, especially when you have like 2 halves playing in round 13, round 19 and stuff like that. Like when you can't play a reserve half, like you only lose, like say you have Savala as your third half who you wouldn't be playing if you kept Cleary. Cleary scores 65, Savala scores 35. You're only gaining 30 points there. So you're not gaining the whole 65 by keeping him. So he's really like losing so much value keeping him. So I think it's a really easy trade. And yeah, these are kind of linked. So before finalizing your trades this week, just assess your expected points for each round. So yeah, they're kind of linked. So I'll go into this. My buy plan is crazy at the moment. I've gone on a tangent here. Added too much shit, but it's once you start, it's hard to go back. So yeah, it's a little bit complicated. So this is my round 11 team. So I've done it for round 11 to round 14, just for my sake. So yeah, round 11 before my trades and then round 11 after my trades. So that's three trades this week. So looking at these 3, so Yo to Hosking, Cleary to Sharp, and Marzu to Tarpany. So yeah, after the 3 trades, I gained 67.9 points this week because Yo and Cleary have a bye. So that's good. Round 12, again, really good. I gained 134.3 points. So yeah, really strong there, which I'm happy with. Round 13. So this is where Cleary and Yo are back. So that's a 62 and 63 point score coming back, or 61 and 63, I guess. And I've just used their season-long averages. Obviously, some people are going to be higher than that, like Savala, who played a few games off the bench and stuff like that. But it's just easy to put, rather than guesstimate, just use their season average. So yeah, Cleary coming back with a 63 and Yo with a 61. Even with those 2 guys traded out, I'm only losing 1 point of expected value that round, because like you can only play 13 that round. There's no interchange, and yeah, I would have been missing out on Savala, and I still do because of this. But I just worked it around, so I'm actually missing out on Iongi and stuff like that. So yeah, it's obviously a bit hard. I don't know exactly off the top of my head who's changed because I've done this for too long. But yeah, like you can only play 13, so you're only losing the difference between like Cleary and Savala there. So like 34 points as opposed to 63 that he averages. So it's just something to think about. And then yeah, in round 14 I gain 8.9 points. So after 3 trades, my overall projection is plus 210 points just making those trades. Plus, I get an extra like 250k in the bank. And yeah, so those 3 trades make a lot of sense. And then round 15, where am I? Round 15 doesn't really change too much. Is that after round 11 trades? Yeah, round 15 doesn't change much, but then round 16 I get another player. Round 18 I get another 2 players. So yeah, it's easy to justify those 3 trades. I'm expected to make 200 points over the next 4 rounds. I'm gaining 250k in value, and I'm gaining extra buy coverage for the later buys. So yeah, those 3 trades make a lot of sense to me. So yeah, it's just something to think about before making your trades this week. What your expected points are, and keeping in mind the minor buy rounds. You're not playing 17, you're playing 13. And similarly to that point, don't overload on guns from the same position that all play on the same minor buy rounds. Again, you can't play them all. So going back to this one, where am I? So like round 13. So I've got Haas, Yo, and May who are probably playing. They're all backing up from Origin, but let's say they get their averages. I'll be starting those 3 in mids. Then I've got Horsburgh, who's also a mid, averaging 54, and I can't play him purely for the fact that you don't have any reserves, and they're all only mids, like they don't have dual position. So Horsburgh's 54 is just going to be wasted on the bench. So if you also added like a Max King to that and stuff, you're going to have 2 50-plus scorers that are just rotting away on your bench. So it really negates the value that you've gained in round 12 and 15 and 18, like the major buy rounds, if you're not preparing for the minor ones as well. So just something to think about. Obviously, I'm bringing in Max King, but he's going to be for Horsburgh, and he has a buy in this round anyway. So I'm not going to have any 50-point scorer not playing. So yeah, just something to think about as well. Everyone's focused on the major buy rounds, but a lot of people are forgetting to focus on the minor ones as well. Number 6, don't pick up any fringe Origin players this round. So yeah, your Kirazes, stuff like that. If there are a chance of playing Origin, like Tedesco and stuff like that as well, just don't pick them up this round. Wait and see for next week. So much is going to change. Like obviously everyone's got their predicted team lists, but there's always 1 or 2 differences. New South Wales coach as well this year. Obviously he used to coach them, but yeah, just there can be so many changes each year that you don't expect. Like bloody Robert Toyer could play for Queensland. I've heard people talking about that. It's just you just never know. So yeah, don't pick them up this round. You have 3 trades next week to finalise them. So yeah, you want to be picking them up next week when we know who's playing and who's not. 7, focus on bringing in players who play 2+ major buy rounds. Pretty simple one. I assume a lot of people are doing this. I've got my little planner here. So I've got teams playing in round 12, and then the 6 teams that play round 12 and 15. So yeah, I know these are going to be my best options to buy. So Knights, I pretty much got them all. I'm getting in Fletcher Sharp this week, getting in Max King next week from the Bulldogs. Yeah, you got like your Garricks from the Seagulls. Roosters have a ton of cheapies, not really any keepers, unless Connor Watson misses out. Again, wait for next week. Dolphins, like a Herbie Farnworth, stuff like that. Katoa, if you are inclined. And Sharks, like McInnes, Blake Brayley, potentially, but yeah. Yeah, you just know who's playing in round 12, round 15, stuff like that, and bring in guys that play 2+, assuming you need cover in round 15 as well. Number 8, Couchin's probably a trade if you have 20+ trades coming into the round. Otherwise, just hold. He's going to miss 3 weeks, so he'll be back in 14, I believe, around 14, assuming all goes to plan. So yeah, if you have less than 20 trades, I don't think it's worth trading out. You knew he was going to miss round 12 anyway, so he's only really missing 2 extra rounds. Yeah, his break-even's close to 80, but you're not concerned about that for a season-long keeper. So yeah, he'll miss this round 11, round 12, round 13, then be back in 14 and play 15 and 18. So yeah, obviously everyone's going to want him back in before round 15. He might lose close to 50k if you're unlucky, but who cares about that? I'd be keeping him unless you have 20+ trades, because if you have 20+ trades and like this is what you save them for stuff like for your fringe guys that can be traded out. But yeah, if you've been blowing them early, I think just keep them. I'd rather trade out a Yo who's going to miss more games, rather trade out a Marzu, Nicholson who are out for longer and are worse options. Like they're not as solidified as keepers. So yeah, he'd probably be 4th or 5th on my list. So just keep him if you don't have many trades left. And last one, just plan for next week's trades this week. I assume a lot of people have been during the bye weeks. But yeah, just making sure you're planning ahead. So yeah, next round I know I talked about my looping options, so I know what I want to do there. So Horsburgh and Munster are on the chopping block, and then bringing in Max King, Adam for Noah Blake, McInnes or Fogarty, probably one or two of those depending on how the scores are midweek with Kartonga and Savala and stuff like that. But I've got a pretty clear plan of what I want to do. And then even round 13, I know I'm potentially trading out 3 of my guys that have probably peaked. Riley Smith, maybe not after back-to-back 50s. That's been in there a while, but I know I need a round 15 hooker. So yeah, like I've got a pretty set plan for the next couple of weeks. I know how many trades I want to use. So yeah, just planning ahead. Things can change so quickly, so you're never going to stick to your plan, but it's just good to have some sort of idea of what you want to do, what positions you need, what buy rounds you need cover for. So yeah, that's it. So the only thing that's changed really is instead of getting Max King, I want Fletcher Sharp this week. So it means I can loop Iongi and Tamale next week. And yeah, someone pointed out, because I was talking about looping Iongi this week for Marzu, if by reversing the Marzu trade, if Iongi scores well, sorry. Iongi is versing the Knights, so that doesn't work. So thanks for whoever pointed that out. That would have made me look very silly. But yeah, that's it. I'm pretty confident in those 3 trades or something thereabout, unless anything changes. Really looking to target round 11 and round 12 as my big boost rounds, move up the ranks. I'm expected to do 180 points better than I was before the trades, so fingers crossed things go to plan. The only thing is I don't have a looper now this week unless I reverse trades during the round, which I've set up for, but it's not ideal. Like I'd rather have one, but I think Yo, Cleary and Marzu are pretty clear trades in my situation, so it is what it is. Hopefully I get the bench right. If not, it is what it is. Probably miss out close to 50 points, but yeah, that's my set plan. I will have like your trade outs, trade in targets during the week, probably on Wednesday or Thursday, but yeah, I think everyone's going to be sort of aligning this week, getting Tarpany, Hosking, who's the third one? Oh, there's no really a third one, but yeah, like pretty similar options, those two. Surprised Jaden Campbell's third on the list. I assume there's a few casuals just buying him because he's good. But yeah, he does make sense to a lot of teams if you have round 12 full teams already. But yeah, Dylan Lucas, all the Knights boys will still be popular, but they're so highly owned already. Yeah, we'll get into that in another video. Just wanted to ramble on about some random shit in this one. So yeah, we'll see you next time.